So what is up? It is part two. Kindly joining me again, my buddy Mike, David Mitchell, head coach at Livonia Stevenson. So we have to talk about the sausage first before we get into the NFL draft. Can I go first? The cheddar jerk jalapeno had a bigger kick than I thought. But it was a good kick
too, right?
It was
Yes,
it was a good
smoke.
kick.
Remember all those words?
Let me get that out. It was a good kick, but you know the drill when you feel the sweat brow.
Yeah.
That was a good kick. That was a damn good kick.
And you guys had the advantage of having bread to cut it down a little bit. I just had to use that delicious cheddar, that molten hot cheddar that was on there. But as I was telling you guys, you take that bite and it's, oh, there's the jalapeno. Okay, that's hot. Then it starts to go away, and then jerk. That jerk seasoning gets you, and it's all over. But by the next bite, you're ready for more. It's over. Now, the good mix was, if I could add in, was then you go to that. I was going jalapeno jerk cheddar, Motor City.
Bite for bite.
Bite for bite. And it, as you said, your quote was, it's amping up. The jalapeno cheddar was amping up the Motor City's flavor. It did. Great combination. Didn't miss the bun.
Nope. What about you?
I was good with the bun. The bun helped make it. I'm sorry. Sorry, it was enjoyable. But I hit what he did. I went bite for bite. Enjoyed both. Got the heat. Got the flavor. Heat wasn't too bad. I didn't get the sweat going. It wasn't as bad for me. But two quality sausages.
We're gonna have to do it again, Mitch. I've known you for 30 years. I didn't know you were a fan of jerk. Mike and I both love jerk, so we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to. No, seriously, you're coming back.
If there's jerk on the menu, that's what I tend to order. If we go somewhere and there's jerk,
wow.
I
love it.
Right
You're in.
Love that.
You know, so then let's tell people this is like a sneak preview. We are gonna do a jerk. We're gonna do the dry and we're gonna do the wet at some point in time, and we're gonna take a look at the differences between both. Jerk chicken. I love jerk burgers. Mixing in the wet in the burger itself. Letting that sit for a while is a good combination.
I agree, 100%. I've got to take the slack off your sweaty brow, Sean. I think it's because you're sitting in the sun. It wasn't the jalapeno. It wasn't the heat. It wasn't too hot.
I think he's getting a little. I think he's getting a little old, and it's starting to Is it? What? Who's
a little old? I'm older. Yeah,
he's the old man of the group. So.
I'm going to be 50 in a month.
I'm not giving myself any favors.
He's got the sweat going. We're still in that,
Isn't it funny, though? Let's be honest. It's like you talked about earlier, though. When you were younger, me strong like bull, all that stuff, you get a little bit older, all of a sudden, guess what? I can't do what I used to do in many different ways.
And that includes your hot sausage.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. It also includes Cajun crust, but that's a story for a different. I still love it.
You can't do it?
I can't destroy it. You know how we used to put it all over?
Wow.
I can't.
Seriously.
I can't destroy it. I can't destroy it anymore.
I know. I had him here, and now it's not here we go. But come on, if you're a legend, you're supposed to be this Cajun legend.
I just heard a Cajun call.
I won him over. I want you all to know.
Cajun legend.
Back in the day, he didn't like. No, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay, now we're going down a path that we didn't mean to go down. Before, I would get that, and there would be that much Cajun on there.
Yes, absolutely.
All over, okay? What I'm saying is I don't want this much all over anymore. I want, this much all over. I'll still spread it.
And exactly what I'm saying I thought of you this much, and now I think of you that much.
I remember.
It's all relative.
That's so
It's so relative.
I remember the day you came over, you brought a large pizza. I think we were watching a Tiger game down in my basement. You brought it over. And I'm like, where's the crust? It was no breaded crust. It was just Cajun. It was all Cajun.
In the sauce. Could you dump some of the sauce?
Out of his pocket. He's like, even more. And I'm dumping ketchup on the thing.
And I was saying, can't do that. We're not talking Reapers and everything. We're talking Cajun.
Listen, there's a bark on the brisket, okay? Mm-hmm. That you can get away with the bark on the brisket. I don't want the bark on my pizza that thick. I just don't. I don't want it. I used to, yeah. There were a lot of things I used to.
At least when we do the jerk, so I'm not jerkless next time. Could you tell me that I can bring something? All right?
Yes, absolutely.
Now I'm not.
Absolutely.
Now I'm not jerkless.
Not jerkless. Well, it's
All
better
right.
than coming sausageless.
I was I came sausageless.
Are we going there
And
again?
you didn't bring your buns.
Okay,
And
all right.
oh,
You know what?
man.
Let's settle it then.
Okay.
The next time we convene, we'll figure out what to talk about. We're going to do the jerk stuff.
All right.
Let's do a jerk stuff. Jerk
The
chicken.
next Mitchell
Jerk.
session is
Jerk.
jerk.
You're in.
Jerk. Well, now it's just a Mitchell session. You're gonna have other sessions without me.
Do you want to come over?
I told you I'm in.
Okay.
Like, jeez.
See,
Dave Mitchell,
not-
ladies and gentlemen.
Like, I gotta sign something before I leave here. Like, is that? Like...
You have no idea what I signed. You have no idea.
Oh yeah.
I just keep saying I don't.
You don't even know. You don't even know. All right, NFL draft.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. What did you guys think? First reaction, word association. How was the Lions draft? Mitch, let's start with you.
Adequate.
Value.
Just adequate?
Adequate in the sense of I think they got done what they could get done. I think they actually had a plan. I love seeing when you can see somebody had a plan. You know, I'm a coach, and I always tell you I love when people come watch either our games or you go watch other games. You could tell that team's been coached. That team has a plan and has a game plan. You saw a game plan by them. That's what I was really impressed with. I say adequate because people wanted to go back. Like, I don't think they could. Like, I don't think there was opportunity to go back and whatever. So I say adequate because I think they executed their game plan and got done what they needed to get done.
Can I ask him a question? Here?
You can
Dave,
ask anything you want.
if I said before the draft started, I'm not going to give you any names of players that the Lions are going to take, but I'm going to guarantee you're going to get a top 5 offensive player that's going to be in it for the Rookie of the Year, top 5 defensive player that's going to be in it for the Rookie of the Year. Of course, I'm talking betting. The betting odds. Would you take that bet?
Oh, yeah, but like
Your top two,
all
your
right,
two
see,
picks. Which 2 picks?
I've told you I'm a I'm a hockey guy through and through, and you know that, and all the coaching stuff. But what I do and when I stray, like I go to NFL draft and I watch mock drafts all year.
Right.
So much it's not about the grades that are coming out. Like, to me, will Swift get that opportunity to be the Rookie of the Year? Like, that's what I look at, right? Like, I know
12 to 15
but
touches a game.
the betting
Right.
thing, right? The way the Lions have handled, like, to me, it's all about the development from what they do with these players. And I don't want to say, well, ask me, so did they win the draft? I don't know if they won the draft, but
Right.
they
I'll give
definitely
you
got
that.
better. And so, but you can make that argument.
Absolutely.
Like, take the running back there, who you have the Johnson and Scarborough, you have this committee, and there's such a need for a pass rush that maybe they addressed, or a D tackle, or there was other needs that I don't know that will that help them win football games, or are there going to be holes at other places now?
Right.
You know the one thing that jumps out to me, and this was the common cry I think after day one, was everybody was talking about, oh, the Lions screwed it up, they had to move down. If I'm Miami, okay, I think people are kind of looking in the wrong place. If I'm Miami, they're the smart one in this equation, because I'm sitting there going right now, okay, the first 2 went the way pretty much everybody thought it would go. The Lions aren't going to take a quarterback. Now, you could float it out there. Maybe they take Tua. Maybe they take Tua. The Miami Dolphins were willing to take that bet, and obviously they panned out. You know the Giants aren't going to take that bet, that pick.
Do you blame
because
the
they
Lions
got
for not
Danny
putting that
Dimes.
out there, though?
Okay.
Like, they put out there the opposite right away.
All right, let's
They said we're not taking one.
Let's put it this way. Let's say they did. Let's play a game of pretend. Do you honestly think that would change anything? I don't know the answer to that,
we
nor
don't.
do you.
No.
But what I'm saying is, if as a consolation prize, you get, as you said, that interesting situation where you have arguably a top defensive player and it's a position of need. Very,
Yep.
very infrequently do we see those 2 roads intersect. Very infrequently. Where the best guy out there also happens to match one of your biggest needs. You could make the argument, like you said, about pass rush. There wasn't one last year. Hopefully it'll be better. We'll see about Deshaun Hand and a couple of the additions that we'll get to. But honestly, in my mind, at the end of the day, you have to peel all those layers away, and that's what you're talking about. You're talking about the top corner in the draft, undoubtedly, and a position of need. I don't know how people can complain about that.
Oh, I think their first round pick was good, but it was a foregone conclusion, right? Like, it's good. It was there. They needed to take them. Maybe that's the word, or adequate adequate comes from.
I was surprised. I was surprised at pick 2. I thought that they take a running back. I thought that they might take a running back later
Right.
because we saw how many running backs went later. But one thing that I promised myself, I think, in years of doing this, and doing draft shows on various radio stations and television, all that crap, I think sometimes we get too wrapped up on the list of needs as opposed to the
Right.
caliber of player. Does that make sense? Like,
Absolutely.
well, you had a bigger need here. Well, who could help your team out more? Could it be incredible value like you talked about? DeAndre Swift was the number 1 back on a lot of people's boards.
Absolutely.
So is it a bad thing, especially if you feel that you adequately address some of the needs later in the draft? I think we all get wrapped up in that talking about that.
Absolutely. I mean, and again, who knows? Let's say Kansas City doesn't take Allaire. They take Swift, who was the number 1 rated one. Do we take a running back at that time? No. But on most people's boards, Swift was the number 1 running back there. He's there. Kerryon Johnson, I'm sorry, he's not healthy. We needed a back, and you just took the number 1 back off the board. On top of the number 1 dad. Did you see that guy's dad?
Yes.
Oh my God, that guy was huge. And I was saying, I'm watching Dave say, well, was he a good pick? I would never say that this kid's not a good pick. That dad's coming to get you.
See, you just brought up something, and now I'm going to send everybody racing to their phones if you don't already know this. Marcus Stroman, formerly of the Blue Jays and now
Okay.
with the Mets.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen his dad?
No.
When we're done, we're looking up pictures of Earl Stroman.
Does he look like Swift's dad?
He's inhuman. Earl Stroman could literally hold me in his arms like a babe. He is a monster. So we have to look up pictures of Earl Stroman. All right, later on, is there any pick in particular? I think, Mike, I know I talked to you about it last week. I think you and I have probably talked about it in the last month. If you guys have listened to the podcast that I do for Lions Radio, WJR with Scott Bischoff, I love Cephas. Absolutely love him. I wanted to take him in the 4th or 5th round. The Lions took him. You have to remember, guys, after this season, the likelihood that Danny Amendola and Marvin Jones aren't going to be here is very, very high. I think you're going to lock up Kenny Galladay, rightfully so, and I think Cephas is going to be a really good number 2 for years to come. I really believe that.
Absolutely. Haven't heard anything bad about him. The one thing they'll say is he's not the fastest. He doesn't have that breakaway speed, but I think I told you when we were talking about it, I found a website that broke down 40 speed into on-field speed.
Yep.
He was top 10 in the draft on field speed.
I think these picks are great. But being the Lions, we've had season tickets for whatever. Yeah, when's the last time you saw a 5th or 6th round pick come in and contribute 2 years down the road and say they got that one right? When's the last time that you can, that's what we're banking on every year in the draft. And we see so many teams over and over again, those guys, because you're right. The receipt for at that point, great pick. I love the 2 pick of the 2 guards. I love them. Hoping that one hits and one, if not both, become starters.
Jackson, plug and play.
Those are great. But we always, when we look at drafts, we always say, well, they got this one. Oh, what value they got there. And right, they might have won the draft. But with the Lions, there's always been a developmental issue. Always been a developmental issue.
There's not
that as the cynicism of saying can he legitimately be their number 2 receiver in 2 years? That would be awesome. That would be outstanding. But is that going to happen?
Well, and listen, Bob has had a lot of misses. I'm not going to sit here and sing the praises of Bob Quinn because Bob has had a lot of misses. One of his hits is the guy that everybody is talking about is not just being a number 2. Kenny Galladay is a number 1. Yep. And you got to remember where they picked him in the draft. So if we're going to have that exercise, and I agree with you, Dave, you can't sit here and polish all day because there are some turds in there. But I think what happens with the Lions, because of that cynicism, is maybe people don't look at some of... Kenny Galladay is a bright spot. Incredible value for where he was taken in the draft.
And there's that word again. We've said it several times since we started talking value. This is the first Quinn draft I've heard over and over and over. Every pick, value, 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 value. There were no reaches. Some people may say, is it Huntley, the back...
Smartest guy in the room.
That was the smartest guy in the room. Yeah. That was my one question mark I wrote down. Why are we taking it back here? But then I read, know what I read? Highlight reel speed.
Yeah. And
you
see
what,
his film? You see the fit?
I haven't got...
He's impressive.
who just won the Super Bowl
He's
was
impressive.
Kansas City
Yeah.
with speed.
Speed.
So when
Yes.
I read that, I'm like, there was no reaches. There was nothing there that was said as. That's the first time I've seen it.
Well, in Bob's time as general manager, I think there's validity to that. I think in round one he's played it safe. If you look at all his round one picks,
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
you could make the argument about Hawkinson. You could make the argument about Hawkinson. I think he's been safe and he's gone pretty much along the board in the first round. In later rounds, to your point, Mike, is when he has started to be the smartest man in the room. Oh yeah? Well, Tavai has a third or fourth round grade. Too bad. We're taking him here.
Yeah.
And those are the things. I think he trusted the board. Mitchell, this is for you. Trusted the process and
Very much so this time.
he really did.
Very much, and that's why I said that. Like, because normally it's not. Normally it's that.
Yeah,
Normally
and
it's smartest man in the room.
Smartest
reach.
man in the room, it's reach. And to your point that you said the word you use, safe. He has always been very safe. And I'm looking at it, I want to find a problem with him. I've got no problem with any of the picks.
No.
Does that mean they're going to turn out?
Absolutely.
No. Hey, Joe Burrow, what number one? Does that mean this guy's going to be a Hall of Famer? No. We don't know. But when I look at it from the information and the tape that we have, I love it. I mean, I can't argue it. I can't fight it.
I know you have some odds, and I want you to get to that. But Dave, while he's doing that, I look at this team as being in that mediocre range of NFL teams. It wasn't a 3-12-1 team. Matthew Stafford being out obviously was disastrous. Is there any reason to believe that they don't jump from that 7-8 win? That's kind of that group that I have them in. Is there any reason to believe that maybe they jump into that 8-9, God forbid, 10 win? Because honest to God, as I sit here today on April 28th or whatever it is,
Yep.
this team screams 8-8 to me. Screams 8-8 to me. I hope I'm wrong, but this team.
When doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, really.
When
Nailed
doesn't
it.
You could, yeah, like you would have made a mint going every year and predicting 8-8. I mean, that's what people do, right? Like it's 8-8 every single year, and so
I can hear killer 9-7. I mean, you can set your watch. 9-7, 9-7.
right, and so the question is, can they take that step? I mean, and the frustrating part for Lions people is other teams have done it. Other teams have done it. It's been
The
done.
NFL elevator.
It's been shown that like the NFL elevator. Well, when are the Lions going to get out?
Well, see, that's the biggest thing. When they took the drop last year, meaning 2018, when they went down to 6, I thought that they're on the elevator in the regard that they were going to bounce back up to 8 or 9. Obviously, you walked down. You're absolutely right. Here's the problem that I have, and this is why I bring that up. It isn't so much on the high side. It's there are people out there that think that this team really, really sucks. And it was going into last season, and then they went 3-12-1. There are people out there that think that this is a top 10 type pick team again. I just don't think they are. I think this team screams middle of the road. Now, if a couple things happen one way, maybe you drop a couple games. If a couple things happen another way, God forbid, maybe you go up a couple games. I'm saying that more towards the side that thinks that this is a 5-11 team and they're going to blow everything up at the end of the year. I'm not so sure about that.
I look at it, I agree with you. It screams 8-8, maybe a 7-9. If they want to take that next step, they must address pass rush.
Yeah, it's
And I don't care
Gosh,
if
it's
that's
fantastic.
if that's throwing everything you have at Clowney and praying that this guy comes.
They have.
Okay, or is it the guy from Jacksonville that is not on the trade block that's trying everything to get traded? Is it that? Whatever it is, you have to do it because I love Okudah, love the pick, but a rookie cornerback can be exposed without a rush. They get a rush. They give me something that says we're going to pressure this quarterback, take a little pressure off Okudah, and I can see them in that next level.
All right, before we wrap it up, I know you had some odds.
Yes,
He's our official numbers guy.
I was going at Dave. I made that proposition to you. If I could give you the number 5 prospect rookie of the year, Jeff Okudah, would you take it? The number 4 in DeAndre Swift, would you take it? Okudah is plus 2,100 for rookie of the year. Swift, and that's defensive rookie of the year. Swift plus 900. All right. I love those odds. Those have a ton of value. Is that where I'm throwing my money? No. I'm throwing on my money where you look at a team that just won the Super Bowl, has an unbelievable offense, taking a fast running back. I'm taking Allaire. He is at plus 800 to win offensive rookie of the year.
Remember those numbers.
I'm all over it.
We're going to throw a lot of that out there. We're going to throw a lot of that out there, no doubt. We've probably gone too long, but I don't care. Is that all right with you?
I don't mind. Now, I mean, look, you're ending it with NFL future bets.
Yeah.
You want to go another half hour? Who am I throwing it on to win the Super Bowl?
Mitchell has the look on his face that screams, "Wasn't this over 15 minutes ago?"
Oh, I'm good, man.
That's you can't hide that.
1 foot out the door.
I'm really happy. Listen, I'm telling you point blank, I'm really happy you're here.
I'm thrilled to be here.
And now, Mike, he says he wants to be here,
Dave,
and he's bringing
Dave.
stuff. Welcome.
I didn't know I was
Come into my
I will
bosom.
bring stuff.
By the way, if you are a business out there and you want us to try something, we'll talk about it here. Seriously, we'll
No
talk
shame.
about it here. There's a listen.
No shame.
Nobody's taking any money or anything like that. Not yet. No. All jokes aside, if you have a suggestion out there, maybe you own a company, you want us to try something, we'll try it. We'll have it here, no doubt about that. But we're gonna plan jerk. All right.
Yep.
We'll be 3 jerks coming up. Is that cool?
I'm
Yes,
on
sir.
It's great to see you.
It's
No, really, it's
I'm
great to see you.
100%. It's great to be here. Great to be see you guys, especially
100% or 15%?
and dressed down. He's not serious.
100%.
coach.
He's my
I did not-
boy.
I did
I
not-
love him.
This is
I went with my
unbelievable.
Bennett with the high school football thing.
You've been going back and
Yep.
forth with Sean. Wow.
I love him. He's you know that. You're my brother, whether you want to admit it or not.
Right back at you, pal.
All right.
Right back.
There's my other brother right there. And if you would have told the 3 of us that we would be doing something like this 30 years ago, we probably would have believed you. That's the
Because
funny thing.
I think my first quote to you was, "Haven't we been doing this for 30 years?"
What took so long to do something like this?
I would still be scared. I'd be like, oh no.
30 years
30
ago,
years I would be doing what?
30
Wait
years
a
ago,
second,
Dave
guys.
would never be here.
Like-
He'd be in the corner, fetal position.
Yeah.
And now that
I'd be like,
maturity,
guys, no,
Dave
I
is
don't know
here.
if I could do that 30 years.
I told you guys he wanted out. I told you. All right, his opportunity to go is now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon.